when I first started quilting, there were all of these tools out there. Now that I've quilted for a long time, I've figured out which gadgets really were the ones that I needed to buy, which ones stood the test of time. So today I'm going to share with you the 10 tools that I wish I had known would be the most useful quilting tools when I first started quilting. Hey guys, I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com. If you are in the market for tips, tricks, and tutorials for the modern quilter, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post brand new video content every single Wednesday on my channel that is just to make your life as a modern quilter easier. Okay, so let's get to it. 10 tools that I wish I had known would be my core quilting tools that I use every single time I make a quilt, okay? The first item that I could not live without now as a quilter is these clips. They are absolutely irreplaceable. Now let me say this, I do use pins all the time, and sometimes I don't want to use pins. Sometimes I just need something to hold it and keep it shut, and these clips do the job. I use these clips on every single project. I do own several sets of these now, but even just starting out with one set should help you stay organized and keep your pieces together while you're beginning quilting and while you're trying to stay organized with all of your quilting pieces. The second thing that I'm going to tell you about is seam rippers, okay? This little guy right here, this one that is like just the super simple starter model seam ripper, does not equal this guy right here. I thought this one was kind of a joke when I first saw it, okay? I thought that is such an ugly tool. Why would you want that? Why is that so important? It just feels weird. Turns out this is what you're really after, okay? And unfortunately, I cannot find the other end of this right now to show you, but this right here is what you're after, okay? This like kind of rubbery, almost eraser-like end to it. But what you want is when you're going along and you've ripped out your seams, right? And this, it works kind of like an eraser, but it grips onto those threads and it pulls them out. That way you don't have to sit there and pinch with your fingers and try and pull out on these like micro ends of threads. This is fantastic. Another tool that you're going to want to make sure that you invest correctly in is an ergonomic rotary cutter. Now these are kind of hard because they all promise to be ergonomic, right? There's ones that are easier on the wrist. There's ones that are really super padded and comfy in the middle. But what you really, really want, and this is a safety thing, you really want something that is going to allow you to grip. We all have different hand sizes, okay? They're ergonomic, but they may be more suited for somebody with a really, really small hand, or they may be suited for somebody with really, really long fingers, you know? Make sure you kind of touch and feel which ones you go into. Don't just get the most expensive one on the market thinking it's the best one for you, and certainly don't go get the cheapest one on the market thinking, oh, it doesn't really matter. This is a safety thing, and you really want to find the right one for your hand. Okay, this one was a game changer for me. Lasers for your quilt machines or your sewing machines. These lasers are amazing. Now I have a full tutorial video on these lasers where I explain everything that they do, why they're so awesome, and why it took me so long to try them out. But honestly, I use them every single time that I sew now. I love them, and they have been absolutely phenomenal in helping me get accurate points when I'm sewing, accurate lines while I'm sewing too. They have been really, really instrumental in helping me get that accurate seam line. So I'm going to link to that video right across the top of the screen here. That way you can see that. All you have to do is right click that link that's across the top of the screen right here, open in a new tab. It'll open up on the next tab over, and it'll be waiting for you after you get done watching this video. The fifth tool that I highly recommend you investing in is a set of block rulers, and ruler blocks, I guess is what they're called, right? Things that are set at exact sizes so that you can square up your blocks. It's very easy to use the lines on your cutting boards, okay? It's very easy to use the rulers that are kind of an all-purpose ruler. Now, one of the first things that I did invest in was a 6x12 ruler, and I love my 6x12 ruler. I still use that all the time. Now, Tula Pink has a set on Amazon that you can buy. It is super cute. It's pink. I mean, you can't really go wrong with pink, right? You can't go wrong with pink. I love it. And it's a really good starter size pack of rulers for a really, really good price. And while it doesn't have every in-between size from big to small, right, it does have the most common size ones. And that's a really, really good starter pack of rulers to buy, and you will not ever be sorry that you bought that pack of rulers. The next little handy tool that I always keep in the drawer next to my sewing machine is this thing. In fact, it is a purple thing. Purple thing. It's a purple thing. Okay, this tool is really, really helpful. Not only does it have this little point here on the end that is really, really good, it's got kind of a curved thing. And if you're getting down there and you're trying to sew something on your sewing machine and you don't want to stick your finger that close to the needle, this is really helpful tool for that little point on the end. And then this side right here is just something that is a little bit sturdier. Okay, so I use this to like poke out the corners of my bags and stuff. And also, can you see that right there? It's 1/4 of an inch from this side to this side. Okay, so it's a really handy tool for that as well as it's measuring. Okay, it works just as kind of an extra hand or an extra tool to reach in tiny places. Okay, if you need to poke out your corners or you need to like fix your binding or something like this, make sure things are really, really tucked in there. This purple thing comes in really, really handy. Okay, now we're gonna touch on organization just a little bit. Boxes, 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 boxes. Okay, invest in project boxes. This is one of my favorite ways of organizing, and I have learned over the years that this method of organizing each project does not fail me. Everything for that project goes in the box. Now I have switched from like baskets to boxes and back and forth. The container itself does not matter as much as the method, okay? So everything from the pattern, the fabric, the cut fabric, the instructions, the thread choices that I've made, everything goes in that box so that it is a very, very quick cleanup, okay? I just put everything in that box, put the lid on it, put it on the shelf. My sewing room stays much cleaner, much nicer. It feels better to walk into my room when it's not looking like we just got hit by a tornado, right? And I can pull it out and work on it, put it back in the box, put it back on the shelf, okay? That way I don't have multiple projects out at once, and it just helps keep things nicer. And then once that project is complete, then you have another box for another project, and you can just reuse them over and over and over again. Okay, here's another tool that I really, really love. That is my thread stand. This is irreplaceable in my sewing room, okay? I love this thing. I know most sewing machines have the little stick that you put the thread on and then you thread your machine and then go through the needle, and it has that feature, right? I love my thread stand because it allows me to do this next tool. A larger spool of thread, okay? A larger spool of thread. That is not only economical because you can get more thread for a little amount of money because you're buying in bulk essentially, right? But you can go through some thread when you're a quilter, right? You can go through some thread. I think the cones of thread that I usually buy are like the 6,000 yard ones. They make them way, way, way bigger than that. And someday I will upgrade and invest in some of the bigger ones, but I tend to like a lot of colored thread, and between you and me, I'm still working on building my stash. Thread is something that is really, really important to invest in the higher quality product as well. The quality of thread that you buy kind of goes hand in hand with the quality of material that you buy for your quilt. You know, there is a difference in material and the fabrics that you can choose for your quilt. There's the higher end art gallery cotton and steel, 100% cotton, you know, all those really, really fancy textures of fabric that are just so luscious and soft, okay? And then you have on the other end, the cheaper ends that have like part polyester and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with them, but as far as like heirloom quality and stuff, you're gonna wanna go with the higher end, right? Because you want it to last longer and you want it to wear better over time. If you buy the higher quality fabrics, you really should be using the higher quality threads that go with them. I buy my white in as big a bulk as possible because I use white mostly for piecing. So that's the thread that you're not going to see, but it builds up the structure of your quilt, right? That holds everything together. So you wanna make sure you have a good quality thread for that. Okay, the very last tool that I wish I had really, really invested more of when I was first starting out quilting was pre-cuts. I absolutely love pre-cuts. Now the reason I didn't do it so much when I first started out quilting was because I don't know, I thought I knew better. I thought pre-cuts were for people who didn't know what they were doing. I was wrong. I was very much wrong, and I I regret not jumping on this train earlier, okay? I love pre-cuts now. I collect them like I have all the time in the world to use them as well. And that's what I want to tell you about is this month, I decided it's gonna be a jelly roll month. You know, I made a pre-cut / jelly roll month last year. I just made it up. It's not official, so don't go thinking anybody else is doing this. It's just me. I just decided to make a whole month themed around jelly rolls, and I'm gonna do it again. So April of 2022 is going to be jelly roll month. You're gonna see some more videos coming out this month about the jelly roll pre-cut specifically, as well as some tutorials. And at the very end of the month, I'm gonna do another jelly roll sew along. You guys enjoyed this with me so much last year, okay? I have an event page that is linked in the description box down below this video. If you go to that page and you register for this event, I will send you all the details to how you can get on this. Last year, we did just a jelly roll sew along together. We kind of partied. I think I gave away a few prizes. We sewed a jelly roll quilt together, and I really, really enjoyed it. We just visited, we chatted, we had a really good time, and y'all been asking me to do that again, and you know what? I'm calling it quits now. We need a jelly roll party, and I want you to be there with me. So make sure you go to that link, fill out that form, and I will send you all the information that you need to know. That party is going to be April 28th at 6:30 p.m. That's Central Time because I live in Texas. So if you're looking for that happy community, something fun to look forward to after all of Jelly Roll Month is over, make sure you sign up for that party. I would love to have you there. All right, that's it for me today. I've enjoyed talking to you. I've enjoyed sharing some of the things that I wish I had known as an early quilter. I have more to share with you coming up. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com. Have a great day. Bye. Hey, if you want to check out some of the videos that I did last year where I did that whole pre-cut month, I have a whole playlist that I will link to on the side of the screen here. All kinds of really, really good information to know and to have on hand, and get yourself excited for this whole month where I'm sharing lots and lots of new content and new projects to make. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.